to get going, and I think that ended up being really tough for them, Stacks, on the length of the series. But if they start strong, and Requiem especially is finding his mark and his accuracy early and doesn't make a read like that going forward, I think Mindfreak will be in a good spot. But on the other side for Direwolves, I'm looking at Misty. If Misty has the same type of performance that he did yesterday, that might carry Direwolves a little bit farther.
It is a weird quirk of this double elimination bracket that we have a rematch so early on after the two teams faced each other in the upper quarters yesterday, but it was a just fantastic affair. If you have the chance, go back and watch that series, or just stay tuned to this one. Why not? You probably get a repeat. Fever can't get the double there. Fiber will pop it downfield. Back and forth the teams go, looking for their first good chance. It does not come from Misty, but it may come from Fiber, as Zen had to stay back.
There he is.
And he side flipped here, and it goes in. Oh, it's just like how the last series ended.
Yep, and Requiem was ready for it. He grabbed that midfield boost, just sat around there and waited for a pass from downfield, and that's exactly what he got. Everybody from Direwolves a little too far forward. They didn't expect Fever to win that ball outright. Somebody was expecting that ball to be challenged. It wasn't, and the result is a goal, and maybe a second one here from Fever, but luckily for Direwolves, they got the challenge.
Clears, in some cases, have been better shots than the actual shots coming in the offensive third of the field between these two teams. Zen skying one up, trying to play it for himself. Ben will just flip across, and Fever will take it along the back line. Pop over one. Awkward ball for Fiber, but he's cleared it across. He was the hero in yesterday's series. Ben will battle with Fiber. And Misty coming through, second touch to send it all the way downfield. This is good out of Fiber and Misty. Zen hasn't gotten involved a whole lot in this opening game, but he'll try here. But he's trying to delay and give his teammates time to get boosted up and in position, and that's great out of Fiber.
Yeah, good challenge, but it was also a good recovery by Zen to do exactly what you said, keep that ball close and force the challenge. That's what opened the gate there for Fiber to come in and follow that up quickly, and look what it's resulted in. Well, Direwolves are still on the push, and Fiber collects finally, and Direwolves are able to tie it up. Stacks 5 shots to 2 in the opening 2 minutes. Direwolves are doing a great job on the defensive half, keeping Mindfreak out. Requiem gets that one look from earlier, but other than that, the offense hasn't really started yet for Mindfreak.
Certainly getting plenty of opportunities are Direwolves of varying quality. Misty will try again. It does feel like they've at least solved part of the puzzle against Mindfreak, but they don't have an answer for Caveman Ben, who just always finds a way to get involved.
Yep, and Zen didn't see Requiem to connect on the pass. He was trying to play the touch out wide from Caveman Ben, and that touch never came. Requiem beat him to the ball clean, and that's all it took. That opened up the gate. Everyone else had to turn tail and try to make up for lost time. A nice move from Mindfreak and Caveman Ben. I saw Fever diving that, and I thought he was going to get that bump.
I thought he was going to get the dunk.
Yeah.
I was going to pinch off of him and the defender. Here goes Requiem. Mindfreak again. Nobody's pick to win this whole thing, and of course in a much different situation than last time around, with this being double elimination. That one goes bar down, away. Fiber does beat Fever to the punch. Fever couldn't catch up, and back and forth they continue to go in game one.
Well, this should have been Mindfreak's goal. Caveman Ben had a perfect look, and he ended up hitting the crossbar on an open net. Fiber had all the time in the world to line up behind the ball and launch it downfield, and then Requiem was just getting complacent, driving up towards the midfield line as third man, and then by the time he realized that the ball was in his area, it's already behind his car, and the ball's in the back of their net. Direwolves had no business scoring on that play.
That's just been par for the course between these two teams, as Misty will make the save, upper 90, and Caveman Ben is right back on the attack. I mean, every touch has to be precise against a team like Mindfreak. Requiem blocked as Fiber picks up 2 huge saves, and Misty's going to get a key clear downfield. They'll be without Zen for a moment. Now he's back in, and he could not beat Requiem. It is 2v2, and Fiber and Misty are up to the task this time.
Oh, that's going to be a dead ball for Mindfreak unless Direwolves can't get back to it. Well, 2 players frozen on the goal line, and the rebounds are just coming back to Mindfreak. So if Mindfreak continue collecting these rebounds, oh, K-Man Ben has to stretch for that one, and that's only going to benefit Direwolves. So Mindfreak couldn't push on that last try, and they're actually getting pushed again here. I thought that they had the look to really put some high pressure on Direwolves on that last push, but it's that follow-up stacks that was kind of the same issue that both of these teams were having when they played each other yesterday. They tend to pull off in odd situations where they don't feel like they're going to win the challenge completely. They'd rather sit back, play the loss, and just receive the ball and move away from the flow of the rotation.
So often to win a tournament at this level, you have to win the ugly games, the games where you're not absolutely at your best. And these two teams, they certainly bring out that kind of scrappy play out of each other. Fever trying to force that one through, and Misty's there to cut him off. It looks like overtime's inevitable, but then again, who knows? A lot can happen between 1 and 0 on the clock.
Oh.
Here goes Fever, stuffed by Fiber, and Requiem wisely lets that drop. We'll start day 2 with OT.
That's exactly how I felt like it was going to go between these two after yesterday's stacks. I don't expect there to be much distance between goals scored for either team. I'm not sure how this is going to break, but Mindfreak certainly left goals on the table earlier on. They do not want to let Direwolves long in the blue half early in this OT.
Caveman Ben threw off Requiem, and he's going to have to retreat for boost, and there's not much boost back there for him, and he's immediately called into action by Misty, but he did have enough to go play that. This is over. Fiber, and the shot's just wide.
Still like the ideas, though, from Mindfreak. When they do get in a rhythm on offense, they start looking for each other. They find those lateral passes that pull the defenders up and out of position, that giving them an opening. Even there was a decent attempt to throw the ball back, but this is where that they get into trouble, is that both the second and third man sit way too far up, and nobody is able to play that law stacks. But here it comes, Fever shot denied right off the goal line by Fiber.
Yeah, Fever throws that a little to the right instead of just going straight on. There's no way Fiber gets to it, but it works out for Direwolves. They stay alive in game 1. Requiem trying to dance through, and that just fortunately finds its way out to Caveman Ben.
Oh.
Of course it does, but this is cleared away. Though Fiber got the save, and then I think Zen might have knocked him off the line. And there's at least a chance for Mindfreak to keep this attack alive. Ben against Fiber, and Fiber just stuffs him again. Here goes Fiber's shot. It's going to be just off the corner, and Fever will carry away.
Eventually, Mindfreak are going to get caught looking against stacks. I don't know, their offense can be pretty threatening when they get down here, but they keep getting caught out. Second and third man sitting too close together. That ball is consistently sailing over both of their heads, but maybe the demo can open up a gate for Fever. No, good touch. Back out to the side.
Fiber making sure to take that corner boost so Ben couldn't get ball and boost. And now Misty trying to break it out with Zen, and that's a great kind of tandem defense there between Fever and Caveman Ben, but now they got to get to the ball itself, and they crisscross again to good effect. I mean, it is working out for Mindfreak. Sometimes you can't really explain how or why, but at least they've kept Direwolves off the scoreboard for the last few minutes. But Misty will clear away again. They still cannot clear the zone and get a good look at the blue half of the field.
Yeah, but they've been able to collect some of their boosts still. Grabbing these rebounds has not been easy for Direwolves in the past, but Misty has swatted away every attempt that Mindfreak have given them in this overtime. And Caveman Ben has to sail high to pick up the next save, but he's a little slow to that challenge. Zen was able to get there in time. Maybe Direwolves can turn it around.
Oh, Misty threw one across, but nobody's there except Requiem, and he made sure not to get his pocket picked. 2v1 unless Zen can catch up. And Requiem just tried to slow play. It did not work out. Ben will try his luck now. Over Zenulus, got the flip reset, but couldn't do anything else. And now watch the counterattack. Misty trying to fake out Requiem, and Requiem did just enough. Now Zenulus says, boy, nobody else could come up. Fiber was way, way back. Zen might have called him off. Now Fever trying to dance through the air, and he just lost the ball entirely.
Yeah, earlier
Seen
Fiber had
some near misses. Caveman Ben bounces one through, and Zen got in the way.
Ooh, that shot came quick. Oh, Fiber flipped over the demo, and what a touch by Fever out to the corner. It could be easy to just let that ball rip into the corner, and then you lose possession, but it was light enough that he was able to follow it up and put Mindfreak back on offense.
Nothing doing through the corner for Caveman Ben. Fiber doing all he can. He set it up on a tee for Zen, but Zen just didn't have the angle to direct that anywhere near the target. Misty, though, after a little miscue by Mindfreak, they ran into each other, I think, and spun each other out, and it finally came back to bite them.
Oh, Fever. He wasn't even in position for it. It didn't matter. He didn't turn the right way. He knew the demo was coming, but I don't think he knew that the shot was coming so fast. So Direwolves took the game, and that was after some really convincing pushes by Mindfreak out of midfield stacks. They had good passing, good looks around the corner. Caveman Ben had a couple attempts at a flip reset, and they were getting cleaner the more he started going for them. And I thought he'd get the power that he needed on his last attempt, but he didn't. And their plays just died where they shouldn't have. I think where they really fell apart was that the second and third man getting tied up, the ball flying over both of their heads at the same time. Somebody's got to play, that back option and cover the loss for the follow-up guy. That didn't happen for Mindfreak, and so they lost out on offense despite putting 15 shots on net.
Overtime will certainly help that, but there you see the winner out of Misty. And, it's a different person every game for the Direwolves. So remember, they won the first game yesterday and still had to go the distance, had to go into overtime in Game 5 on Champions Field. Remember, best of 7 all throughout the day today. So a much longer journey, much more time available for Mindfreak to kind of show up at a longer series, as we've learned, Jorby. That does benefit Mindfreak because they do seem to get better as a series goes on.
Yeah, and they looked pretty good in that first game. I'm really pushing the pin on the positioning from them early, but it's just because I thought that was going to happen more often for them. But like you said, a great save by Zenulus coming out of the net.
Misty's pushed one wide, and Requiem has to battle with Misty in the corner. Now the pressure's really on from Direwolves as they try to take firm control in this series, not let Mindfreak get any momentum whatsoever. Misty with another great win. Got this ball centered, and Requiem and Fever combine to send it downfield, where, of course, Caveman Ben is waiting, and he will, in a very rare case, back off the play and go back for boost.
Yeah, he will. He's starting to try to sit downfield a little more often to get a cheeky challenge in, but the goal is scored by Requiem, who snuck it right under the defender here, Zenulus, or Fiber. Yeah, it was Fiber, excuse me. Zenulus had the initial challenge. And, well, Fiber, that's what happens when you're that side of the post on that play in particular.
2 goals for Requiem in this series, and he'll be looking for a third. No, he peeled off that play and instead will play the long game against Misty, who got it in front, and Caveman Ben comes to the rescue. Now Ben, flip reset, forced it on target, and Fiber made the save. Fever's over there, but he's going to retreat back, and it is full possession, or should be, for Mindfreak, and they can all get all the boost they need as Direwolves backed off. We're seeing a little bit of that passive play. We'll see if that continues as Game 2 rolls on.
Yeah, no one was really in position to take the challenge, yet 2 players had 100 boost in the tank, and then the third player had over 50, so somebody should be able to challenge in midfield for Direwolves. But either way, they did get the ball back. But just giving free space to Mindfreak certainly will make it a little bit harder to come back into the match. Or into the game, excuse me. They're up 1 game. They don't have to come back in the match yet. Here's Caveman Ben. They're just going to let him air dribble. And he's starting to get a little bit farther on those flip resets. They're content to just watch Caveman Ben air dribble the ball. They're like, fine, we've seen you attempt this flip reset 6 or 7 times. And he hasn't really threatened with any of them.
How about
so
that?
Take a player out. If flip resets don't work, demos are your best friend.
Hey, you let Caveman Ben get enough decent looks at the net. Eventually, he's going to score a few. He's got 2 in the net already. This one, a lot less mechanically gifted. Let's put it that way. straight and simple, get the demo, bounce it home, 2-zip for Mindfreak. Requiem, just looking to dive straight through the ball. Ben is coming up again, goes underneath Misty, trying to force him to give up the ball and let Fever take over. Now this bounces right up to Zen, but Requiem is right there to challenge him.
Oh,
Requiem may have a look, but Zen caught up to him. That is big for Direwolves, not letting this game get out of hand early. Fever now, just gonna pop one on target himself. Didn't have anybody to pass to. As good an option as any, as Requiem will collect on his own back line, and things have really slowed down. Not much of a threat out of Direwolves. Starting off the second half of game 2, Ben's shot saved by Misty. More importantly, finds Fiber, but only for so long as Fever's all over this. And again, Mindfreak continue to pester Direwolves in their own zone.
Yeah, good challenges, and the rotation has not been anything too aggressive from Mindfreak. They're kind of just hanging around midfield, making sure that, you know, any kind of clearance angle that Direwolves have is going to be difficult. And they've been working on a limited boost situation for a bit here, but this clear from Misty might give them the break they need. But Mindfreak are doing a great job controlling midfield, and they're forcing Direwolves to just sit down. Misty at a full tank. Why can't he go and challenge Caveman Ben on that play? Fiber as well. I mean, how many chances are Mindfreak going to give them to be able to score, Stacks? They can't just let Mindfreak continue to carry the ball for free.
Fever pop over one, but there is Misty again. Fever's played much more of a table-setting role. Remember yesterday during the incredible matinee between these two teams, Requiem and Fever combined for 9 out of the 10 goals that they scored.
Oh, there it is.
That shot blocked by Requiem, and here goes Fever again. He's got 3 assists to match his total from yesterday. Now it's Fiber again. Final minute, and he's going after Ben. Misty's got a look, and Requiem stopped that too. The defensive Mindfreak is doing it again, and the Direwolves are just left frustrated.
Requiem has had to be the failsafe twice for Mindfreak on a couple of these saves. Oh, and then Fever just got demoed, or not Fever, excuse me, Caveman Ben got demoed out of the play. It was Fever who carried it back out. But, oh, Requiem, massive fake! Oh, he rolls it off the post and in! Oh, Requiem does them real bad here.
Yeah, I mean, this is just desperation, even trying to get onto the ball, and then at the absolute last moment, had a little help from his friend downfield as well. It works out for Mindfreak, and Requiem in particular scoring for the 3rd time in this series. 3rd of probably many more to come, as Zen couldn't get the redirect there. 15 seconds to go. It is all Mindfreak tying up this series. Again, this is as expected, as advertised, Jorby. There is not much to actually separate these two teams. No matter what anybody else would like to tell you, they are evenly matched, and they're showing it here. 1 game apiece in a long best-of-7 on day 2.
And the difference in game 3 was the passivity from Direwolves. So many times they had the potential to push. They actually had boost advantage on Mindfreak several times. And they've had Mindfreak using a lot of boost in situations where they can challenge the ball. But when you look at the shot count for Direwolves, they only put 3 shots on net, and I thought it was 2 or 1, or even 0, because I don't remember how long they spent on the blue half. Requiem did pick up those 2 saves, so it just came back to me. But like, that's how spotty it was for them. And I'd just like to see them be a little more aggressive on their own half. They have the boosts to do it, but they'd rather let them carry the ball downfield. And Mindfreak has scored on them several times because of it.
Onward now to DFH Stadium for game 3. Again, out of most likely 7. There is almost no chance that this series does not end up on Champions Field when all is said and done. These two teams continue to go back and forth, 3 goals has been the magic number. 3-2 in game 1 in OT for the Direwolves, 3-0 in game 2. Did I say game 2 in OT? Whatever. Anyways, here we are. Words are hard, Rocket League is harder, and boy, these two teams are making it look incredibly difficult.
A simple game, but very hard to execute, and it's Direwolves who execute first off a quick turnaround. And It's just a botched challenge from Fever. Caveman Ben tried to fall on it, but he didn't have any boost, so he needed luck to be on his side. It wasn't. 17 seconds is all it takes.
We've seen early goals. We've seen very, very late goals between these two teams. No lead is safe. Requiem looking to get a very quick answer. Couldn't get the double from the side. Fever has won that challenge, but Ben could not come up for it. Fiber has it instead. Combines with Misty. I think they're trying to pinch that somewhere near the target. Zen now. Teardrop down. There's Fiber, and he just couldn't get there in time.
Oh, I'm so sad for Zenulus and Fiber. That was about as close as you can get on how tight he was against the backboard stacks. But then poor Fiber was pulling back so hard on his Octane just to try to nudge that ball into the top of the net. It didn't quite work. And this time, this is working a lot better for Direwolf. They are being a little more aggressive, but this just rolls by Fiber.
This is working a little bit better for Direwolves.
Of course.
And immediately, oh yeah, by the way, accidentally just scored LOL.
This is the problem. It's like, why is that the rotation? Why is Zen on the other side of the pitch? Why is Fiber in the corner behind Misty when Misty's trying to challenge the ball? Why is nobody covering the middle of that gap, the most likely place for that ball to go? I don't understand the positioning there from Direwolves. That one felt completely preventable.
As the wise philosopher of rockets named Orb once said, that's Rocket League. Caveman Ben beaten out by Zen. Chance to center here, and Fever got back just in time to thwart Misty's effort. And now another one dangerously close towards the box, but Fever will have it. And a great first touch to get by Zen. Got around another, but there is Fiber at the back. Nobody else really to challenge that play for Mindfreak, so they have to go back to square one.
This time, Misty gets a perfect follow-up for Direwolves. And then Fever gets a perfect 50. Tried the fake, but it didn't work, and I thought for sure Fever had the lane. He's been really good on the ground game. Zenulus' flip reset taken away by Requiem. And it's opened up some space for Mindfreak, but they haven't been able to punch that second goal in yet. Might come behind him, or maybe Caveman Ben off the ceiling. Demo opens up the net. No shot comes, and Misty gets a freebie. It's just gonna roll in, Stacks.
They sent the house, and it almost worked out, but Fiber got in the way, and then Misty put Jessup up on it. Nobody else is gonna catch up. Here we go again. Sometimes it is not going to look pretty, but you have to survive. And it is all about survival here in the lower bracket between Mindfreak and Direwolves. Requiem! Flip reset immediately ties it.
Almost everybody in this lobby has been going for flip resets. It's usually Zenulus or Caveman Ben, but this time Requiem pulls one out of the hat. And that was a pretty one. He got some finesse on it, slapped it over to the right side to avoid the last defender. That was wonderfully done by Requiem. I've really liked how Requiem has looked this weekend for his team. And that one, no slouch of a goal. Great stuff.
We've commented on this many times in the past, Jorby, as another look in front. Misty almost got that to go. Requiem just barely in the way. And Fever's going to need a good clear out. Instead, he's giving it right back to Zen. You know, years ago, the idea of like a trick shot contest was floated around, and it never really came to fruition. But the way the game has evolved to today, things that are just commonplace would have easily won a competition 3 years ago. It is amazing what we just kind of go, oh, yeah, Caveman Ben, another flip reset, whatever. Like, can we just skip the replay already? Here goes Requiem. His shot on, easily blocked by Zen, but it's the follow-up that's blocked away by Misty.
Oh, and it's not an easy mechanic, Stacks.
No.
Like a lot of players in this lobby, like I said, have been trying to go for them, and their first touches on them, they haven't been perfect. They haven't been, the cleanest flip resets. It's a really tough mechanic to pull off, but when you can, it can create some massive opportunities. It is, in my opinion, the most versatile mechanic you can have in your arsenal. If you could pull off a flip reset, it just gives you so many options as an attacker to do what you want with the ball, and defenders basically have to guess sometimes. Unless they can challenge you outright, as soon as you can get under the ball, typically the weapon is in your hands, and more times than not, the ball ends up in the net. But right now you're seeing how difficult it can be to pull that off. But when it happens, well, Requiem can tie the game.
Almost a double commit as Ben got just a little antsy there, but he was able to get back and at least help out on the defensive effort, and he'll need to pop that away as well. Not a whole lot to work with, though, only 6 boost. And I don't think he got that corner either. It spawned right after he went by it, didn't get the midfield either. So Ben trying to do a whole lot with nothing in the tank. Fever now has Requiem in the mid and could not hit him. Missed opportunity for Mindfreak. And now Caveman Ben suddenly has boost, and they're right back on it. Fiber's off the field. 7 seconds separating us from another overtime. Ben trying to delay, Fever as well. All they gotta do is touch us down. You know, Mindfreak is just begging for OT, nice. And they're gonna get it.
Good clear from Caveman Ben. Good read off the ceiling, pre-flip to confirm it. And now another OT. There might be a couple more of these heading down the way, Sax.
Only a couple. Here goes Requiem. Got his flip. Reset, went under and threw the ball and just could not get the angle he wanted. So Fiber is able to send it away. Now Caveman Ben. Not a whole lot happening there as now Fiber cut out by Fever. As fun to watch today as it was yesterday. 2-on-1 attack and nothing comes out of it as, again, Fiber up to the task. He's been so good for this Dire Wolves squad. Again, the hero yesterday with that clear downfield that Ben just couldn't catch up to after the 1-second goal at the end of Game 5 that forced overtime. Here's Fever. That is stuffed by Zen, going after Ben, couldn't get him, and Requiem still downfield, but could not catch up to it.
Yeah, that was tough. He had limited boost. It's not over. Fever's shot just grabbed off the wall by Zenulus. And Requiem certainly had the read. He just didn't have enough boost to get back to it, and he had to be perfect on his launch to grab it regardless. He was able to win another 50 here in midfield. You talk about Fiber on the side of Direwolves, but Requiem today, Stacks, is continuing to produce. For Mindfreak, he's sitting at the top of the scoreboard right now. 2 goals, 3 saves off of 4 shots, and it's not stopping anytime soon, but we're little into this overtime. It could go another 3 minutes as Caveman Ben pushes downfield.
Oh, Misty just cut out that pass that surely would have ended this game. Fiber now. He didn't get what he was looking for sure. Misty battling with Ben, and a race to the ball won by Zen. Misty to win the game. No, he came up empty again. And Requiem against Fiber. Almost a neutral 50-50 that Misty has to clean up. Boy, somebody is going to make a play here, and it is going to be huge for this series. Again, teams tied 1-1 in the series. A lot of momentum at stake between Mindfreak and Direwolves.
A lot of ceiling, too. The game keeps getting more vertical the longer on in overtime we go. Like, players are just popping it up for a follow-up from a teammate, and then that teammate will go off the ceiling after the first touch and just try to get above the other player. We are going higher and higher. Unfortunately, there's a max height limit for these players. Otherwise, they'd probably try to go through the ceiling at this point.
It's a very dangerous game between these two because it feels like they're trying to force a mistake, and I think that's actively part of their plan. Play it up to the sky and wait for somebody to make kind of a lazy, lackluster touch and pounce all over it.
But even at the same time, they're like following it up. Yeah.
Right, yeah. If that's your plan, that may be you that makes that mistake because both teams have been in that situation as this series has gone on and all throughout yesterday's.
I do feel like Mindfreak have been a little more dangerous on the transition. Namely, Fever can get that touch. No, it'll be played away by Misty, and Requiem's challenge will be taken away. But I feel like Mindfreak have the better read on the transition. They usually send a player down more often than Direwolves do, like right here with Caveman Ben as he launches it forward. But more looks that they get like that, Stacks, and the closer they get to victory.
Misty's looking for Zen, and Fever saw it the whole way. Bounced it out of the corner, but nobody else is up. So that crisscross by Fiber and Misty wasn't good. Requiem to win the game, and it's blocked by Zen.
Oh, good catch by Zen, but wasn't actually able to get a clear. keeps his other two teammates locked on the backboard. Now this is the transition that Direwolves want. Now you can start to try to take that boost away from Mindfreak, force that 50 in the corner like Misty just did, and now real pressure comes from Zendulus and Fiber as they take control of midfield, but you gotta make that touch. Zen's not gonna be there every time to follow up a whiff.
Decent win by Fever, though, Ben. Again, he has been so ambitious, looking for those tough angles where you're not necessarily going to get a ton of pace behind it, but it's a cheeky angle to throw off the defense. That's another great block by Zen that forces Ben all the way back, and that first touch might have at least thrown off Direwolves a little bit. Zen got kind of froze and demoed, but again, Direwolves back on the attack. Misty, backboard, drop right down, and nobody else is in front, so Requiem will carry away. Ben's got the clear, but not quite to a teammate. In fact, he gets it to himself somehow because nobody else could get there. That's Caveman Ben for you. Fever's trying to do a lot with nothing in the tank, and now teams starting to get maybe a little desperate and just a little more optimistic.
Ooh.
Ben, stop that one. Are you kidding?
He flipped it into the ground and it bounced high up. That means no one from Direwolves could follow up on the save immediately. Misty's shot immediately denied by Requiem. And the defensive structure, the rotation from Mindfreak has been so clean and so fast. It's been much faster than we saw yesterday and even earlier in this game. They still have to be careful, but Mindfreak are slowly starting to form into that fall major form we saw earlier this year.
Caveman Ben just casually trapping this in the corner, though not the touch he was looking for, but they're going to get away with it, at least for now. Requiem has to come out quickly, and no, Caveman Ben is right there for yet another save. That's a savior medal for him. 10 in total for the team, which is kind of remarkable considering we've gone over 10 minutes. And we saw how many shots Direwolves have been able to put up in previous games, so certainly that last one, not nearly as many.
Yeah.
Requiem hoping that midfield boost would spawn. It did not, so back and forth they'll go again.
I mean, credit to Direwolves. They have been more aggressive on defense. Like Fiber going for that challenge right there, even though he doesn't get that touch, the pure fact that he was there is a massive difference from how Direwolves played in the last game. And that's happened a lot more in this overtime. That's why we've gone 6 minutes, because Mindfreak are having trouble breaking consistently through midfield. Look, Misty, another good challenge. Fiber, another good challenge. Direwolves were not doing that in the last game, but they still have to get it clear. They can't break out of midfield. This could turn into a dangerous situation quickly.
Requiem trying to force that through. He pulled the lever, but Zen still held with it and made the save. Now Misty trying to pinch past Fever. He's got Zen streaking downfield, but cannot get the pass off. So Misty will try again. Hey, if at first or seventh you don't succeed, keep trying.
I mean, it's getting the score is getting pretty high on that mark, right? Oh, Fever. Man, I'm telling you, Fever really wants a sick pass off the back wall. How many times has he tried to deliver that for either Caveman Ben or Requiem? He'll take anybody to be available. Even right there, a nice little pop to Requiem, and he scores! Beautiful pass from Fever. Well, 7, 8, 9, 10 stacks. 8 specifically, but 1 pass from Fever is all he needed after 7 grueling minutes of overtime, and that was just game 3.
That's another, boring game of Rocket League esports. 7 minutes of OT. Mindfreak survives on Requiem's 7th shot. He racks up $1,000 on the scoreboard, and more importantly, win number 2. Still 2 more to go at least, and of course, who knows how many games that will take for them to get there. Just that game had everything, Jorby. This series already has just about had everything. So many near misses. I mean, it's so rare to see the ball actually go into the net the way these teams are playing.
Yeah, and honestly, Stacks, Mindfreak's defense was the difference. You have 11 saves, 5 from Requiem, on top of his 3 goals, as if the guy wasn't creating enough value in the midfield already. Like, he has just taken center stage for Mindfreak, and the defense just got so much better. They weren't in the wrong spot. The ball wasn't just going in off of a weird challenge, and nobody was in position. The communication is solid. The car language is palpable, obviously. like everybody is on the same page on Mindfreak right now. Direwolves are putting up one heck of a fight. Fiber is the Fever of this team. If he can start doling out passes like Fever is consistently, then Direwolves can easily get right back in it, Stacks. It seems like we're kind of on a TikTok cycle in this match where Direwolves get the better of Mindfreak once, Mindfreak get the better of Direwolves twice, but expect Direwolves to come right back with a quick pass here from Misty. If they can find more lanes like this, then they might find success in game 4.
Direwolves trying to swing that pendulum back in their favor to tie things up, else they'll be on the brink of elimination. Again, a best of 7 here. So we go to Utopia Coliseum. And, of course, Ben just pitches that right past Fiber. Misty had to get to it. Now Requiem's shot is blocked by Fever, who was looking for his 6th assist of this series. Again, he had so many goals yesterday. Caveman Ben almost found that. Are you kidding?
First of all, that pitch from Fever was perfect. Like, it was a perfect pitch, and that was a perfect pre-flip. But Caveman Ben to just go for it? I mean, that's why people love this guy, right? Caveman Ben just goes for the crazy stuff on offense.
He's a maverick.
I
love it. He's just a gambler. Just roll the dice, see what happens. Gonna throw it downfield towards Fever again.
Nice.
Taking the shot himself, and it looked like it deflected off of Misty, who was not expecting that demolition in front of him.
Yeah, Fever got a little help. He got bumped forward, so he figured, okay, I'll go take the boost, and then completely take Fiber out of the play. I mean, with the smoke, good luck figuring out where Caveman Ben is gonna come out of it. That was beautifully done by Fever. Instant recognition that he could create value with a demo on that play. And now they might score again, but it's off the crossbar, and Fever has to keep it locked in the corner. Oh, he looks so good right now, Stacks. The connection is there, especially between Fever and Requiem. You can tell that they've got that, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Neurological connection from across the internet. There we go.
How do you spell that? All right.
I don't know why I tripped up so hard on it.
Fever high off the backboard. Oh, that's missed by Fiber. Here goes Requiem right at Misty. Challenge fastball. Couldn't get it to it.
Yeah, Requiem threw a ball made of lead at Misty. No chance to make this save, and he timed it right. It was just tough to where he was. He had to get turned around, make sure that he stays behind that ball, but it's coming so fast that your timing has to be at the exact right moment. You flip too early, you just get knocked away and you get scored on. Flip too late, well, the result is exactly as you saw. Misty ends up with a forced own goal and a Mindfreak 2-goal lead.
I think Misty was just surprised that the shot was right at him. He just had it in his head and like, oh no, I'm totally going left. It's like a penalty kick. This drops straight down for Fever. Mindfreak have all the momentum. Again, after that long OT, but Misty with a bullet answers right back.
One thing in the game that Direwolves were missing, the passing game. Zen finds a lane to Misty, who lets it rip. And the missed challenge certainly affords them that laser, but they've started connecting on those a little more, Stacks, in this game specifically. Now, if midfield continues to be open like that, if Zen can find a lane, Direwolves can easily score this next goal to come back. Plenty of time.
Well, the Direwolves defense almost made a mess of that, but they're going to get out of the zone, but they can't get anything in front of the Mindfreak net. Caveman Ben looking for the ground pitch, and Fiber was all over it. Almost won that cleanly into the Mindfreak net. Almost has been the word of this match, of this head-to-head matchup, period, all throughout this season. And certainly through this major. Misty answers again as he puts Direwolves in the backpack.
Oh, it's better the second time around as he sinks it. Perfect read off the ceiling. Excellent use of just a little bit of boost. You don't need a lot to line yourself up. You just need a little. And Misty gave that ball everything that he was worth. That was a wonderful shot on net. 2 screamers from him and a save right off the bat.
Right when you thought Mindfreak had started to kind of seize control of this series and were threatening to pull away from Direwolves, Misty has been incredible. And he may do it again. Everything Misty touches turns to gold.
And Caveman Ben sure wishes that was the case for him. as he just mistimes that bounce. You gotta really time that. It's all about timing. Again, you don't want that ball to bounce on the ground. You want to be just on, your car has to be just on the edge of that ball to prevent it from bouncing above your car and then into the net. Caveman Ben couldn't find it, and Misty is just sinking every single touch. Stacks. Everything he touched does turn to gold.
How about Requiem with the pre-flip there, just to even get in front of Zen's effort, and then Misty had it lined up all the way. Mindfreak was about to go up 3-1 in this series. They were going to start running away with it and put Direwolves on the brink of elimination. And all of a sudden, now this series has turned on its head as Direwolves are trying to tie it up at 2 games apiece.
And it comes from Misty again, Stacks, where we saw him yesterday come through massively for Direwolves. So, of course, he comes in clutch again when they need to get back into the match, and Zen can't score off the flip reset, and Caveman Ben picks up another save. Oh, Fever picks up another one off the crossbar. Oh, Requiem picks up another save. Mindfreak keeping themselves alive in the match and the game. Caveman Ben gets a clear. Ooh, I don't know how they kept that ball out.
That is impossible. There is no way that this game is not 2-5 right now. Are you kidding? Now Fiber for Zen. Straight down, and Fever's just going to try and control. They need to get the ball downfield quickly. Fever's going to attempt to do just that, and Zen just sky it up there. Now you can't afford to just play the ball up in the air and make Mindfreak burn all their boosts, try to catch up to it. Requiem trying to get the tail on that ball. Did not happen. Fever's got to go after Zen. Zen's got him in his hip pocket, and it is all Direwolves. Somehow, they didn't score on that crazy sequence, but they ultimately didn't need it. The final seconds will tick away, and we will reduce this best of 7 down to just 3 games. 2-2 between Direwolves and Mindfreak, with elimination on the horizon.
I really thought Mindfreak were about to turn that crazy defensive stand into a transition, but it was a great job by Direwolves to not panic in that situation. Don't get too frustrated. Don't try to force the issue. Just maintain your midfield presence. Don't over-rotate. Don't get overly aggressive. Keep that ball locked in. That's exactly what happened. Even after Caveman Ben got that clear, it was basically neutralized because Fever and Requiem were nowhere in sight. They had to go and collect boost. It just took them too long to get anything done. And so while it was fun, while it was exciting to watch, really didn't mean anything in the end for Mindfreak. Direwolves, Misty, just Zenulus is like, look, I just put it in front of his bumper and he scores. What do you want me to say about it? That's exactly what happened in that game.
Funny thing is, I think Misty ultimately had the last touch on almost every goal for both teams in that last game. He was everywhere, and you know what? You pick up a 4-piece, everybody will forgive you if you can't make a couple of saves here and there, because he did literally everything else. The only thing he didn't have any assists. Ball hog. Unreal.
Yeah. Terrible teammate. Absolutely.
Right? Unbelievable.
Can you believe that guy?
I guess when you score 7 goals in the series, people will forgive you. We go to Wasteland
winning the game
5
for your team. How dare you, Misty?
I know, right?
Unacceptable. Hey, look,
Share the wealth.
Score.
Yeah, he can. There you go. That's his first goal of the series. Him and Fever had only had assists the whole way. This time it's Zen, and Misty fittingly gets the assist.
And look, Stacks, Misty does get his assist, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, like, it was a great challenge, too. Diving across to kill the ball, and it was a freebie for Zen, so arguably Misty did all the work.
Zen is just like actually chopped liver. Does not matter. His shot here is blocked by Fever. Misty would have scored it, clearly.
You're right. I should give more credence to scoring open nets. It's very hard.
Especially for us. Here's Ben. Throwing one across. He's still got Fever downfield. No way. Shot upper 90 and just off the crossbar. Follow-up bounces through from Requiem.
Well, Requiem is simply Mindfreak's Misty in this case, but it just comes for free. And what is going on in this goal line? Direwolves, somebody's got to go for that ball. Everyone thought that everyone else was going for it, Stack. That's the only discernible explanation I can pull from whatever that was in front of the goal line for Direwolves. They cannot all get caught sitting on the goal line like that.
Instead of a chorus of mine, 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 it's yours, yours, yours. Oh, goals.
The inverse is just as worse as the former.
Requiem's downfield off that feed from Caveman Ben, but it's not on the mark. Requiem couldn't catch up to it. Now Fever will try his luck. That challenge near the net, but not on target. And Direwolves will work downfield. It is Fiber up high, flip reset, not available. And Requiem just pops this away. He's got Caveman Ben up with him as well. Who again, look, this Mindfreak team, they live by one mantra. If you've never failed, you've never tried anything new. You've never taken any risk in your life. They take risks, and somehow they pay off.
Yeah, sometimes they really do. Other times, you know, they get burned, and third man is in the attacking third for some reason. But those times have been few and far between in this match, and they've definitely, I would say they've done a better job of controlling the pitch overall than Direwolves have. I think Direwolves in the last game, that was the best that they've looked in terms of midfield and making smart challenges to prevent Mindfreak from just pushing forward for free onto their half. When they're aggressive in midfield, the success is obvious. And the times that they didn't push, nice save by Zen, they had the boost to be able to. So they can't use no boost as an excuse as to why they can't challenge the ball. I think they've recognized that, and you've seen a much more measured approach from Direwolves on offense. They're not playing super aggressively, but they're also not just sitting back and letting Mindfreak take shots at the net.
Oh, Fiber, great catch, but Requiem is there for the stop. Fiber forced to do all that on his own, didn't really have a good pass to look for. Now Caveman Ben thought about it, instead he'll have to back off, but there's Misty. Can Fever catch up to it? Yes, he can, and he forces it wide.
That's starting to
Another
become
chance though, and Ben cleared that. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's starting to become a place of comfort to search for Misty in the attacking third in the center of the field. They're connecting on it pretty consistently, and they're catching Mindfreak on that pass whenever they're rotating back. So as long as they keep the back door shut, and Fiber does so here, this is looking pretty good for Direwolves. I like how they've responded to Mindfreak's pushes overall, and that pass, off the post and first own goal. Fever, I don't know how you get this goal, but they'll take it.
This, by the way, is off of Misty. He does it all. That, by the way, is the last player to actually score a goal in this series. Fever had all assists, 7 of them in total. Now he's got a goal. Technically, and technically correct is the only kind that matters. Fever throws one across. Mindfreak have a lead. Now Caveman Ben, he tried to take the shot himself, and it's blocked away on the tight angle.
Nice challenge again from Misty. Requiem caught out. Caveman Ben makes a diving stop, and that's a great follow-up touch from Fever. That was a really tough situation for Mindfreak that both players just bailed themselves out of. But Requiem almost got caught out in midfield, and that would have been a tie game.
Caveman Ben battles Misty in the corner. That falls to Zen, and his shot sails high. He also only has the 1 goal, only a couple fewer assists than Fever. Nobody's going to go for this, so Fever will take it. And he's past one. Can he get by another? He certainly can. Threw it out there, but neither Ben nor Requiem would commit, even though they were both kind of in position to do so. And as a result, they get beat in transition. Fiber takes advantage. He just picked their pocket.
Yep, Requiem loses the 50. Caveman Ben dives a little early on the play. He saw Fiber coming, and as he's coming closer to the ball, Fiber disappears for a second. So he thinks as Fiber's turning, that he's turning in and gonna challenge the ball. But that's not what happened. Fiber just let it kind of play out for a bit. He saw Caveman Ben jump early, and he knew right then that he wasn't gonna get a solid touch on the ball, even if he did get his whole car behind it. So he didn't really have to do a lot of work there. That was panic by Mindfreak on defense.
We have had 2 games go 2-2 in the final minute. They've both gone to some length of overtime, but this one may not. Misty trying to play hero again.
All 3 players of Mindfreak getting caught on the left wall. Fever was getting down off the wall, but by the time he actually gets set, he hasn't even crossed the corner boost by the time Misty takes the shot. There's no way he's gonna catch up to that, and Misty still sinks him for Direwolves.
What an incredible series we have had here. 2 games apiece, 2 goals apiece until that strike from Misty. And now Mindfreak are forced kind of back into desperation mode. This drops right down, and Misty very calmly rolls it away. 10 to go. Ben for Fever, blocked by Zen. Requiem has to keep this in the zone. He does. His shot is true, right between the eyes to tie it.
Fever blows a hole wide open through the gate. See you later, Misty. If he's the problem, delete him. 4 seconds remaining, and this is playing out literally how yesterday played out between these two squads. Oh, did Requiem just score? He did!
No way.
He got a freebie off the kickoff! When's the last time you've seen something like this? Zen just missed
Oh,
he just
boy.
completely botched the kickoff! He
Shades
just
of
completely,
Barca.
He just messed it up! That wasn't
Wow.
even like Ronicky bad on that kickoff though, Stacks. Like, he just mistimed his flip. I don't know. I want to see that replay again because I don't know where exactly that mechanic went wrong, but something timing wise, that was free. That was so free.
It was free. Well then, Mindfreak gets a free one. 4-3.
What?
They avoid overtime, which, I mean, I was looking down at my notebook. I'm like, okay, so what do we have? We've had 11 minutes of OT. And then I hear a boom, and I'm like, is there a demo? No, that's a goal? Are you kidding? Holy cow. These two teams, I mean, they give you everything. Are you not entertained, chat? Are you not entertained?
Yeah, you get free kicks in Rocket League. It's incredible.
Unreal. Right as it ticked down to 1 second. And Mindfreak, they stole that one. When Misty made it 3-2, you thought, all right, at worst, this is going to go to overtime. And instead, Mindfreak just went, yoink. Here they are, match point, going to game 6.
And I think this is the best spot for them to be in. Like, whenever Mindfreak are ahead, they do play with a fair bit of confidence. And if Requiem continues to connect on these passes from Fever, who has started to get more tight with his control over the match, I don't know if Direwolves can force a game 7 here. It really depends how the game starts. If Direwolves can start with a neutral game, that's the least worst thing I think that could happen. If Mindfreak score early, though, I think the hill's going to be pretty hard to climb for Direwolves. We'll see what happens, though, as we unfold here in Neo Tokyo.
Oh yeah, by the way, if you're just joining us, this is match 1 on the card today. We got a whole lot more to go. Neo Tokyo game 6. Must win for Direwolves in the worst way to try and stay alive in this regional, in this major rather. So it is Caveman Ben trying to play that for himself, and Misty is right there to disrupt his efforts. Things have slowed down significantly after the absolute chaos that was the end of game 5.
Oh, Fever making life difficult for Direwolves on the clear, but that's a good pass to Zen, who's been getting some really solid touches as well. Direwolves are not out of this match at all. Don't get me wrong,
no.
Stacks, but it's just when stuff like that happens, it's really, that really strains you mentally to know you had the game won, and then this happens at the start of the game, where even if you get the touch, it ends up in your own net. This has happened for the 3rd time to Direwolves today.
It's incredible. I mean, sometimes maybe it's just your night. It was on that fateful night back in the fall, even after they were they were a non-factor throughout most of the region. And then the non-factor throughout most of this winter regionals. And now here they are. Playoff Mindfreak has shown up. Do they, look mechanically better than ever before? No, not really. It's just things are going their way.
Some teams, Stacks, some teams have that state in their, that brain state. When it gets to playoff time, when there are high stakes on the table, that brain state kicks in, and it's just, there's something intangible about it. You really can't describe what happens to a team like Mindfreak when you put them in a major situation, and it's still online, by the way. We're not on LAN or anything. It's not like the environment has changed all that much, but the pure stakes are enough for the mentality to shift for a team like Mindfreak to put on a different kind of performance than they do when there isn't anything that they feel that they're risking on the table. But these teams are trying to get to a world championship. These teams are trying to play for a lot of money. Only 2 teams out of this region go to the world championship. This means everything for these teams.
Ever since the inception of the Rival Series, Rocket League Esports has been about one word: opportunity. And the opportunity a team like Mindfreak takes advantage of time and time again at this level. I mean, that's what Psyonix is looking for, as this one's blocked away by Fever. And Caveman Ben will take this downfield. They want to see a team like Mindfreak show up, kind of take the reins when given the chance. Caveman Ben, that's not what they're looking for. He ran into Fever. It should be a goal, and it finally is. Misty ties up game 6.
Well, Requiem was a little lost on this one after both of his teammates got bumped. He said, uh-oh, and he never saw Fiber. He had no clue Fiber was in his corner at all. He thought he was going to play that to the side, maybe carry it around, but then all of a sudden he's driving supersonic into his own net, hoping he could fly out for a quick save. It didn't happen, and they left another goal on the table here, Stacks. Requiem had a chance at net on that right before that turnaround happened, and he ended up hitting the crossbar. They had Misty caught out in the middle of the goal line, and they weren't able to convert.
Well, I mean, you couldn't have him put this series out of reach too early. I mean, we have to go to game 7.
Right.
Caveman Ben trying to
Overtime
chip one
first
on
here, right?
Oh, of course, right.
Yeah.
Fever's shot is blocked by Misty. This time he was able to stop it at the goal line. It didn't deflect off him and in, as so many others have. Now Fever using what's left of his boost to try and force that through, but Fiber should have it. He does. Can Misty do anything else with it? That's brilliant to get over towards Zen. Over towards Fiber, but they could not connect.
I love that creativity, though. That's exactly what you want out of Dire Wolves. And Misty got a nice touch there, but Zenulus, he popped that up. You had Caveman Ben high up on the back wall. You'd rather see him just catch that. Force the defender to come down. If the defender has to move more distance than you to get to the challenge, you have the advantage. You have to be able to take advantage of that in tight situations like this and keep that kind of creativity flowing.
Well, Ben and Requiem are going to want those opportunities back. They had really good looks at the net. I don't want to say they were free, but at this level, they might consider that they were. What a pass! Requiem sets up Ben with a beauty!
Now, Requiem has been the striker most of the time, but he can also deliver some beautiful packages. And Caveman Ben right past all of Dire Wolves for a Mindfreak lead.
And you just watch, I mean, you watch the Mindfreak cams just go, yeah, that goal right there might have just kept them alive in this lower bracket. It's just like, nice pass. Nice job. They are all business here in the final 30 seconds, trying to hold off Dire Wolves. They almost let one through a moment ago, down to 30 now. Fever just trying to kill more time off the clock. It's got to be overdrive now for Dire Wolves. Zen out of the corner, trying to get his center. He did, but Fever bombs it away, and Misty's got to have this. He does, but then he gets bullied by Fever. That's just got to be frustrating. Down to 10 seconds. Fiber got through, trying to stay with it, but he burned all his boost. Got to have that corner at least. Misty with 4 seconds. Got to get it center. He did, but it bounces off of him and away. Desperation mode now. Fiber has no boost. Fever spikes it down, and Mindfreak stay alive.
Wow, of course it goes to 7 games, and not through lack of effort there. That last push by Dire Wolves. Like, Misty got that challenge. Zen made the 50 happen right after. Like, that was every right decision in that situation, right? But Mindfreak, they just were square up on the ball every single time. They didn't over-rotate. They stuffed Dire Wolves at the point of any single opportunity there at the end, and that kept them alive. I just don't know how we're going to Game 7.
Well, we're not going to Game 7, unfortunately.
We've
been robbed, Jorby. It is over. They stole Game 5. It feels like they stole Game 6.
Stacks, I was trusting you. I just went with what you said. That is not a good idea.
No,
For some reason,
alive.
I thought
they don't get eliminated in the lower bracket, Jorby.
You're right. You're right. They're not done.
No, they've got a lot of work to go.
Yeah.
They got to wait on the winner, actually, of, go figure, our next series. Riot Gaming and Team Process are going to take the field. They are again going to try and follow up what we just saw from Mindfreak and Direwolves. It was a tough task last time a team had to follow up that series. We'll see what happens here as the Oceanic Major continues right after this.